Have you ever noticed how, after 75, the conversations at family dinners change? They shift from talking about vacations and grandchildren to stories about hospital visits, medications, and friends who aren't here anymore. It can feel heavy, but here's the truth. Avoiding these conversations doesn't protect us. Facing them, openly and honestly, can actually save lives. In today's video, we're diving into a topic that many shy away from: the leading causes of death after 75, and most importantly, how you can prevent them. This isn't about fear, it's about empowerment. It's about giving you the tools to stay healthier, longer, and more independent. Let me share a quick story. In Florida, I met Mr. Daniels, a 78-year-old who used to joke that he was on borrowed time. But when his doctor told him he had early signs of heart disease, he decided to take prevention seriously. He changed his diet, started walking with his neighbor every morning, and joined a local senior group. Today, at 82, he says, "I don't feel like I'm waiting for the end. I feel like I'm living again." And that's exactly what we'll explore together. In this video, you'll learn why heart disease remains the silent killer after 75, the truth about cancer and why screenings still matter, how strokes can often be prevented before they happen, and why lung health, something so often overlooked, may be the key to your longevity. We'll also look at the lifestyle changes proven by American research to extend life expectancy, the common mistakes many seniors make, and real-life stories of people who took action and added years of quality to their lives. So, let's begin with the number one cause, and the one doctors call the silent killer: heart disease. Cause number 1, heart disease, the silent killer. Heart disease remains the leading cause of death after 75, not only in the United States, but worldwide. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, nearly 1 in 4 deaths among older adults is linked to cardiovascular problems, heart attacks, heart failure, or complications from clogged arteries. The scary part? Many people don't even realize they have heart disease until it's too late. That's why doctors often call it the silent killer. Here's why it matters. As we age, our blood vessels naturally stiffen, blood pressure tends to rise, and decades of dietary choices, inactivity, or smoking can catch up with us. The American Heart Association warns that after 75, even mild chest discomfort, shortness of breath, or fatigue can be a red flag. Yet seniors often dismiss these symptoms as just old age. Let's look at a real-life story. In Ohio, Mrs. Johnson, 79, had been experiencing shortness of breath for months. She thought it was simply due to aging, but when her daughter insisted she visit a cardiologist, the test showed severe blockages in her arteries. After a procedure and lifestyle changes, she says, "I didn't realize how much of my life I was missing until I could finally breathe again." The lesson here is clear. Don't normalize warning signs. Heart disease doesn't always present with a dramatic heart attack. Sometimes it whispers through fatigue, dizziness, or swelling in the ankles. Early detection and prevention can make the difference between a sudden loss and years of extra life. So, what can you do? The Mayo Clinic suggests 3 daily habits for seniors over 75. Move at least 30 minutes a day. Even walking counts. Eat a heart-healthy diet rich in vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. Get regular checkups, blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar screenings. When you take these small steps, you're not just protecting your heart. You're protecting your independence, your energy, and the moments you still want to live. Now that we understand why heart disease is called the silent killer, let's move to the second leading cause of death after 75, cancer, and why early detection matters more than ever. Cause number 2, cancer. Understanding risks in later life. After 75, the risk of cancer becomes a major health concern. According to the National Cancer Institute, nearly 60% of cancer cases in the U.S. occur in people over 65. The reason is simple. As we age, our cells experience more wear and tear, DNA repair weakens, and the immune system becomes less efficient at detecting abnormal growths. But here's the key point. Not all cancers are inevitable, and many can be caught early or even prevented. The American Cancer Society, ACS, emphasizes that cancers such as colorectal, breast, prostate, and lung are the most common in seniors. And while the word cancer itself sounds frightening, survival rates improve drastically when these cancers are detected early. For example, the ACS reports that the 5-year survival rate for early-stage colorectal cancer is over 90%, but if detected late, it drops below 15%. Let me share a story. In Arizona, Mr. Lopez, 77, always believed cancer was something you couldn't do much about. He skipped screenings, thinking, if it happens, it happens. But when a routine colonoscopy, which he almost canceled, found a small polyp, doctors were able to remove it before it became cancerous. Today, he says, that one test probably saved my life. I realized prevention isn't fear, it's freedom. This story reminds us, screenings are not just medical tests, they are lifelines. Mammograms, colonoscopies, low-dose CT scans for smokers, and prostate checks may sound uncomfortable, but they can give you precious years with your family. Of course, lifestyle plays a role too. A diet rich in vegetables, whole grains, and limited processed meats has been shown by Harvard School of Public Health to lower cancer risk. Regular physical activity and avoiding tobacco are still the top preventive measures. The mistake many seniors make is assuming, I'm too old for screenings to matter. In reality, prevention and detection at 75 or even 80 can add not just years to life, but life to years. Now that we've seen why cancer risk rises and how early action makes a difference, let's move to the third major threat after 75, stroke, and the steps that can protect your brain and independence. Cause number 3, stroke, a preventable emergency. A stroke happens when blood flow to the brain is interrupted and every second counts. The CDC reports that nearly 75% of all strokes occur in people over 65. It's one of the leading causes of disability. But here's the hopeful truth. Up to 80% of strokes are preventable with lifestyle changes and early intervention. Why does stroke risk rise after 75? Blood vessels stiffen, cholesterol builds up, and conditions like high blood pressure or atrial fibrillation become more common. When blood clots form or vessels burst, brain cells start dying within minutes. That's why doctors say, time lost is brain lost. The American Stroke Association identifies the FAST method as critical. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. But beyond emergencies, prevention is the real power. Controlling blood pressure, eating a heart-healthy diet, staying active, and regular medical checkups can reduce stroke risk dramatically. Here's a real story. In Ohio, Mrs. Green, 79, experienced brief moments of slurred speech but dismissed them as just being tired. Her daughter insisted she see a doctor. Tests revealed she had TIA mini-strokes, a warning sign of a bigger stroke to come. With medication, dietary changes, and daily walks, Mrs. Green hasn't had another stroke in over 6 years. She now tells her friends, listening to my body and acting fast gave me more time with my grandchildren. The lesson here is powerful. Don't ignore small warning signs. Even dizziness, brief confusion, or numbness should never be brushed off as normal aging. Acting early could save your independence or your life. Now that we understand stroke, let's move to the fourth leading cause of death after 75, chronic lung disease, and why breathing well is just as important as eating well. Cause number 4, respiratory diseases. COPD pneumonia. When most people think about aging and health, they think about the heart or memory. But one silent danger after 75 is respiratory disease. Conditions like COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, pneumonia, and chronic bronchitis. According to the CDC, respiratory diseases rank among the top 5 causes of death in Americans over 75. Aging lungs naturally lose elasticity, the immune system weakens, and recovery from infections takes longer. Even a simple cold can escalate into pneumonia, which is particularly dangerous for seniors. In fact, pneumonia is sometimes called the old man's friend because of how quickly it can take lives in late age. But it doesn't have to be this way. COPD, often caused by years of smoking or long-term exposure to irritants, narrows the airways and makes every breath feel like a struggle. Many older adults brush off symptoms, shortness of breath, chronic cough, wheezing, as just part of getting old. But in reality, these are warning signs that need attention. Here's a real story. Mr. Alvarez, one from Arizona, used to think his shortness of breath was just from slowing down. After a bad flu landed him in the ER with pneumonia, doctors diagnosed him with COPD. With medication, pulmonary rehab, and something as simple as practicing deep breathing exercises daily, he now says, "I never knew I could feel this much better at my age." Prevention is powerful. The National Institutes of Health, NIH, emphasizes 3 protective steps. Vaccinations. Flu shots and pneumonia vaccines save lives. Staying active. Walking, light exercises, and breathing practices strengthen lung function. Avoiding indoor pollutants, from secondhand smoke to harsh cleaning chemicals. The lesson here? Breathing is life. Protect it. What seems small, like keeping up with vaccines or opening a window for fresh air, could be the difference between staying active or ending up in the hospital. Do you know someone over 65 who could use these tips? Share this video with them today. Now that we've explored the 4 leading causes of death after 75, let's step back and look at the common lifestyle mistakes that make these risks worse and how you can avoid them to extend both life and quality of living. Lifestyle changes that lower all-cause mortality. Here's the hopeful truth. Even after 75, small lifestyle changes can have a massive impact on your health and longevity. The Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health published a study showing that seniors who adopted just 4 simple habits, eating a balanced diet, staying active, not smoking, and keeping a healthy weight, reduced their risk of early death by up to 50%. That's not a small number. That's the difference between losing years and gaining precious time with your family. So what are these life-extending habits? Nutrition as medicine. A diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins lowers the risk of heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. Seniors who shift from processed foods to Mediterranean-style meals often see improvements in energy, digestion, and even mood. Movement every day. You don't need to run marathons. Walking with friends, chair yoga, or light resistance training keeps muscles strong and circulation healthy. The CDC confirms that as little as 150 minutes of moderate activity per week can extend life expectancy. Sleep and stress management. Sleep isn't just rest, it's brain repair. Poor sleep is linked to memory loss and higher stroke risk. Simple routines, like turning off screens before bed or practicing deep breathing, help regulate the body. Social and mental engagement. Loneliness is as dangerous as smoking. Studies from the National Institute on Aging, NIA, reveal that seniors who stay socially connected, joining a book club, volunteering, or even regular family dinners, live longer and report higher life satisfaction. Let me share a real story. Mrs. Thompson, 79, from Ohio, had lost her husband and felt life had no meaning. Her daughter encouraged her to join a local community garden. At first, she was hesitant, but tending tomatoes and chatting with neighbors became her new medicine. Within a year, she was healthier, her blood pressure dropped, and she often said, "This garden saved my life." The lesson? You don't need a miracle pill. Your daily choices, what you eat, how you move, how you connect, can cut your risk of all major killers after 75. With that foundation, let's now look at the common mistakes many seniors still make, often without realizing how much they undermine these healthy habits. Mistakes seniors often make with health after 75. Even with the best intentions, many seniors unknowingly adopt habits that quietly work against their health. According to the National Institute on Aging, NIA, small missteps after 75, like neglecting hydration, skipping medical checkups, or relying too heavily on medication, can snowball into major health problems. Let's explore the most common ones. Mistake 1. Thinking it's too late to change. Many older adults believe that lifestyle changes don't matter anymore after 75. But studies from Harvard Medical School prove the opposite. Seniors who make even small adjustments, like walking 10 minutes a day or eating more greens, experience better mobility and longer survival. The myth of too late is often the biggest barrier. Mistake 2. Over-reliance on pills. Medication is necessary in many cases, but seniors sometimes assume a pill will fix everything. For example, taking blood pressure meds while ignoring diet and exercise. Doctors warn this mindset creates dependency without solving root problems. Mistake 3. Social withdrawal. It's common to lose a spouse, friends, or even the energy to go out. But isolation is dangerous. The CDC compares chronic loneliness to smoking 15 cigarettes a day in terms of health impact. Staying home alone too often can speed up cognitive decline and depression. Mistake 4. Ignoring preventive care. Some seniors skip routine screenings like colonoscopies, mammograms, or flu shots, thinking they aren't necessary at this age. Yet, preventive care remains crucial. It's often the difference between catching a disease early or too late. Let's bring this to life with a real story. Mr. Henderson, 78, from Florida, told his doctor, "I didn't think a flu shot mattered anymore." That winter, he developed pneumonia and spent weeks in the hospital. He later admitted, "I won't skip my shots again. Prevention is easier than recovery." The lesson? Even at 75 and beyond, your choices still matter. Small mistakes can add up, but small corrections can save lives. Now that we've covered the common missteps, let's move forward to inspiring real-life stories of seniors who changed their habits and reaped enormous health benefits. Subscribe and join our community of seniors who are staying sharp, active, and inspired. We've come a long way together. Today, we talked about the 4 leading causes of death after 75, heart disease, cancer, stroke, and respiratory diseases, and the lifestyle strategies that science proves can lower those risks. From moving more and eating smarter to staying socially connected and never skipping preventive care, these small steps can make a big difference. Remember this, your choices today can add years tomorrow. Every walk you take, every healthy meal you eat, every connection you keep, they all add up to protect your life and your independence. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which habit will you start today to protect your health? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story may inspire someone else watching. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share it with a friend or loved one who's over 75. Together, we can spread knowledge and hope. And finally, never forget, life after 75 can still be strong, healthy, and full of purpose. Your best years may still be ahead,